Speak now to Victoria Churchill, who is a journalist with the New York Post. Just to get a view of younger people in America, Victoria. And I gather that you are viewing another 4 years of Trump with some optimism. Tell us why.
Yes, well, thank you so much for having me this morning. So I spent 6 months on the campaign trail with the New York Post last year covering the campaign. And, I can tell you from somebody that actually attended just about 24 events, just like the one last night between Trump and Vance, that America is ready for a change. This is something that the people of America showed with the overwhelming victory that Trump had, particularly in the swing states, which is the team that I was a part of at the New York Post 6 months ago. And, we saw a victory of 312 electoral votes. And again, he won every single swing state. And that just goes to show the magnitude of the mandate that he comes into office with in just a couple of hours. For me personally, I have a couple issues that I focused on that I knew were kind of going to be winning issues for him on the campaign trail that he has promised to deliver within the first few hours of taking office. And those are, of course, immigration, as you heard there. The southern border here in America has been a mess for quite a number of years throughout Joe Biden's presidency. And so I expect a lot of those executive orders. We're expecting a flurry of almost 200 is the latest number that I'm hearing. And a number of those, I believe, are going to be on the immigration issue. But we're also looking at some other a little bit more niche issues. Like, I'm also a small business owner. I participate in independent contracting or freelance work. And hopefully the Trump administration is going to go back to a policy that they had in the first administration, which is a lot less stringent on what kind of work can be done as independent contracting versus a rule that we saw implemented about a year ago with the Biden administration.
Yeah, and when you see, though, the scale of the mass deportations that he's planning, the plans to give pardons to some, at least, of the January the 6th rioters, that doesn't bother you particularly?
Well, on the issue of immigration, that's an interesting one because I'm actually an immigrant myself. It took my family about 11 years to get citizenship. And so what we've seen over the past few years is really this blatant disregard for the policies that we have regarding our southern border and regarding our immigration system. As somebody that is an immigrant to this country, my heart goes out to the people that want to come here legally and want to do it the right way, just like my family did. But also what we've seen is actually polling came out, the New York Post Ipsos, quite a respectable polling outlet, very far from hard right, goes out and says that actually an overwhelming majority of Americans support what Trump is planning to do with the deportations, and again, this is definitely not a conservative outlet that is doing this polling, the New York Times. This is someplace that has attacked Trump. They have attacked Trump, but Trump himself has also attacked them for quite a number of years. And what we've seen there is polling from just a couple of days ago that shows that I believe it's over 80% of folks want to see deportations for example, people that commit crimes all over the country. There's cases that Trump focused on from all over the country, whether that was Laken Riley, and that was the House of Representatives passed the Laken Riley Act just a few days ago for those deportations, particularly for folks that commit criminal acts in the United States, so that we have people, committing vicious murders of women and, of course, men. But, these cases, Rachel Marin, Laken Riley, Jocelyn Nenegary, these women were victims of illegal migrants who, in my view, shouldn't have been in the United States. And again, that Trump policy is backed up by millions of Americans, both that voted for him and afterwards. I really think we're seeing a shift in the tone. And then, about January 6th, I think there's information that we are still waiting to come out. This was an issue that was brought up in the confirmation hearing of Pam Bondi, Trump's attorney general. So there's definitely a lot to be seen on what will be done in that regard.
All right, Victoria, it is good to get your perspective. Thank you very much indeed for